everybody, welcome back to Pixel Junkies. You're listening to the Pixel Junkies podcast, episode 149. I'm one of your hosts, Rory DC.
I'm so tempted to stop my audio tracks. We have to redo the whole.
It's actually 149 this week.
It is 149. Yeah, we've been saying it's 149 for about 5 weeks now. So now
welcome to the episode 149.
I
just wanted to
and
say
who are all of you people?
It's actually 149.
I'm one of your hosts, Adam.
I'm Aaron.
Hey, I'm joining you from elsewhere. Andrew in the house.
Elsewhere, is that an Elder Scrolls joke?
Well, thanks for joining us, Andrew. Aaron, can you close the laptop?
So if you're
a funny
wondering,
joke.
you'll notice during this podcast, because you're watching very carefully, that I'm actually on my phone quite a bit, and it's not because I'm being a degenerate. It's because the topic list for this podcast is on my phone instead of on the laptop this week.
It's on the laptop. It's right in front of me.
No, for you, but I want my own thing here. That's for you mostly.
Oh well, if that's the case, I'm gonna go all out of order.
So we actually the order this week is kind of important because I want to start with the first thing, which I think is probably the most interesting thing.
We got a car in the space, which is pretty cool, with the new
fuck out of here, please.
Falcon Heavy launch done by Tesla, or not Nikola Tesla, of course, but rather the man who owns it. Now we can talk about your thing.
Okay, so the Cloverfield paradox had kind of a surprise trailer.
First off, it's out.
It's out,
Yeah.
yeah. They released a trailer, and what turned out to be a very successful marketing plan. They, said, by the way, this is gonna be out in a couple hours.
Shit.
And a lot of critics pointed out that worked really well in terms of getting people to watch the Cloverfield film. It released to incredibly bad reviews, which Cloverfield usually does quite well with critics. This one very much didn't.
Aaron, you're losing.
So 3 of the 4 of us sitting
race,
here,
Aaron.
I of course have seen it. Andrew and Aaron have both seen it.
Yep.
Are you? Let's get some sort of pedigree stuff out of the way. Are you guys fans of Cloverfield and its universe? And
I am, yeah.
Yeah, Andrew.
It's all right.
Not the universe.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's all
okay.
right.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, well, just to make it clear though that a lot of people did not like that first movie. I enjoyed it.
Sure. Yeah.
It's not amazing, but it's a pretty cool monster movie.
So how acquainted with you? We won't comment on whether this is dealt with or not in this latest movie, but how acquainted with you are you guys with the fan theory that Cloverfield is in the Half-Life universe?
That's the first time hearing
not
about
very.
it.
For the
I
first,
think that would be stupid. I think that would make me like both franchises less.
yeah, I will say though, as far as the evidence went, at least before this movie, it was a decently compelling fan theory. But we won't get too much into the nitty gritty of that. What did you guys think of the latest Cloverfield movie?
You should create some sort of podcast about it.
It was okay. It's more of an origin story and kind of connects the other 2 movies a little bit. God damn it.
But it doesn't line up at all time-wise.
Time-wise, no, it doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. And it just felt a bit cookie-cutter. It does a decent job of explaining what an origin story would be for that universe, but it just felt very generic and didn't wow me like 10 Cloverfield Lane did.
So this
felt like a made-for-TV movie.
Yeah, it felt like it had a lower budget for sure.
That doesn't make it bad.
Yeah.
But I'm glad they didn't go the monster movie route.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I think Cloverfield is almost for something that's connected. It's surprisingly disconnected, and they go for different genres each time. Now, I agree. I don't think this was as successful an exploration of the sci-fi genre as 10 Cloverfield Lane was successful as an exploration of the thriller genre.
Yeah.
I think this was comparatively worse. But the 2 things really stand out to me about this movie. One of which is I thought the acting was by far the strongest point of it. I thought they did a really good job with the casting on this one.
Yeah, there's some solid performances in there.
I think the actors made the most of the script they had. I overall liked the movie, but I will say, what struck me is, so how many of you guys have seen Danny Boyle's Sunshine?
Nope.
I have.
Okay, so, Andrew, do you agree with me that it's essentially a slightly less good version of that?
Yeah, basically.
Sunshine is a really good science fiction movie about a surprising number of the same things. And I just thought it worked a lot better than this one did. Although I do think there are good things about this movie. I wish more people have seen Sunshine. It's a really good movie. It's worthwhile.
I've heard about it.
Yeah, it's the same director. Danny Boyle did like Slumdog Millionaire and stuff like that. So so Sunshine was sort of overshadowed.
And
probably
guy
by,
stuck in rock for 6 days.
Did he
or
do
something.
28 Days Later? Am I
No,
misremembering that?
That's
See,
David Lynch.
You're not misremembering it. Here's what you're misremembering. Alex Garland wrote Sunshine. He also wrote 28 Days Later.
Okay.
That's unless I've somehow screwed up my Alex Garland facts, which I shouldn't have because I'm a huge fan.
I know he did 21 Days? The rock climbing movie.
Yeah, so that's Danny
It's
Boyle.
127 hours.
That's
I think.
Danny Boyle.
27 hours.
127 hours.
127 hours.
27 hours wouldn't have been nearly as big of an ordeal. I mean, you know.
8th time's the charm.
Only made for TV movie, that one.
But yeah, there were. I don't know. The movie was. I thought it was a respectable movie. I did enjoy it, but I definitely don't think it holds up compared to a lot of other science fiction movies. It's connected to a universe I really do like, so that helps it in a way.
Well, what I like, and there hasn't really been a lot of examples of this in film. The only other time I can think that they did something like this was with the Halloween movies. At least that was the intent. Where originally Halloween was not supposed to be just about Michael Myers. It was only supposed to be about Halloween 1, and the other it was supposed to be like an anthology like series of films where every Halloween movie would focus on a different kind of horror story. So Halloween 1 was about a serial killer. Halloween 2 was supposed to be about witches. Halloween 3 could have been about, I don't know, aliens or vampires or whatever. And so I think with Cloverfield, it's like that, where you have this anthology series of films where each film has a similar kind of overtones, but for the most part they deal with widely different themes and settings and that sort of thing.
I agree 100%.
Yeah,
And
but
I like
everyone
that.
hated Halloween too. So they just brought back Michael Myers for the third one.
Well, because they didn't explain what they were doing with their series, so everyone went in expecting Michael Myers, and they came out being, where the fuck was Michael Myers?
And I think.
No,
And he was like, donkey!
And it's interesting that it isn't more popular in film because, of course, now it's literally all the rage in television, right? Just before the show started, we were talking amongst ourselves about Black Mirror, and obviously there's
And Gallivant?
there's American Horror Story, and
Don't forget that.
American Horror Story, one of the more successful anthology television series.
Don't forget Gallivant.
Gallivant, of course, which is not at all an example of our point.
No,
It
but
was
it's good
canceled.
TV. And you know what? I'd like to see an anthology film, and like an anthology series based on kind of not I don't know how to describe it, but more mundane stories. So almost like cop procedural. So instead of having a show where it's like, oh, it's the same cast of Ice Cube and all the rest of the gang solving mysteries with with Scooby Doo, it'd be like every episode is a different kind of case, and it could follow, like, one episode's about a private detective, one episode's about FBI investigators. They just focus on different stuff, but it's not the same cast, so you're not getting
that's
bogged
kind of
down.
what True Detective
Yeah, I was
is,
gonna
except
say.
you're looking at seasons.
Yeah, but there's only been 2 seasons, and from what I heard, season 2 did not hold up.
Season 2 is great. It's not as good, but it's great.
I think
what I heard.
that
But I'll take your word for it, Andrew, over the person I heard it from.
I think that
Was it
that's a
me?
good point, and it's interesting to note that the things that do gather successful anthologies tend to be horror or supernatural based.
Yeah, I mean, Monster of the Week is.
It's a staple of
yeah.
horror in a lot of ways.
I mean, even Buffy, shows that have an overarching narrative, they depend on Monster of the Week. Buffy did it. Angel did it. Hell, Scooby-Doo did it. That's what Scooby-Doo is.
yeah.
Like, Scooby-Doo originated the fucking term.
The
X-Files.
Yeah.
the X-Files is a great example. The X-Files is a brilliant show. Yeah, really good. If you haven't seen your favorite episodes of the X-Files in a while, go back and watch them because they're still really cool.
Man, I watched it a lot as a kid, and I'm slowly making my way through it on Netflix.
There's a new
Now, if it's
season
still
of
on
that.
Netflix.
Hold up.
I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, I've heard it's all right.
I didn't go near it. I didn't go near the new season of Arrested Development either when they made that.
I doubt that. I doubt that works.
Yeah, exactly. I just I don't know. I want to watch it and I want to love it, but there's so many things to watch that a new season of something that had a very full run is not on my list.
And it's not really a problem, but I think this is ultimately, right now, and I said this before, we're kind of in like a golden age of popular culture in terms of TV shows I think everyone can agree, are as good as they've ever been in terms of the quality of stuff. Not to say that there aren't terrible shows out, but when you compare, like, think of TV shows back in the early 2000s to maybe about, 2008 or so. Yeah, you had some good standout shows like Lost and The Wire and stuff like that, but there was a lot of crap TV out there. There really wasn't anything good to watch. Now, there's so many good TV shows,
Yeah.
And we're in a golden age when it comes to, a lot of stuff in terms of, that kind of speculative fiction. Like, there's movies are really good right now. TV shows are really good right now. Comics, video games are really good right now, aside from, you can make arguments about AAA games, and that's a whole other can of fish. But, like, on the whole, we're having a really kind of revival of that kind of culture, and I'm wondering how long it's going to last, or if people are going to be like, this is too much, and we can't keep watching all these really good shows because there's too many of them.
I don't think that'll be a problem.
I hope it won't be a problem. I don't think so, but
I can't see it being a problem. I'm sure people had the same speculations when they started making TV shows in the first place.
Yeah, fair enough.
That people weren't going to keep up. People always keep up.
Yeah.
What does on the whole mean? Like, I know it's use in a sentence, but like I always just picture someone slapping an anus and it making a popping sound whenever.
That's a good point, Aaron.
WHOLE.
Like, what's on the whole?
It's not spelled like anus hole.
Yeah, no, but I'm just saying, like, what is on the physical thing you're talking about?
I don't know.
The whole. What is the whole?
I think
why is there something on it?
It's everything.
Yeah, it's WHOLE. Right?
Yeah. I'm still getting that. Pop sound in my head.
All right, so
there's nothing we can do about that.
Brian Fuller leaves another TV show.
Yeah, so I should have written down the name of it because I forgot the name of it. So if you don't know who Brian Fuller is, he's kind of like, I don't know, like, I'm trying to think of another example in an industry.
Amazing Stories.
Amazing. He's the Ken Levine of TV shows, right? Like, really good, but, like, not everyone knows who he is. Right? It's not like he's Brian Fuller is a less big name than like J.J. Abrams or Joss Whedon.
Yeah.
But he's still amazing, and the fans who are fans of like Dead Like Me and stuff like that are the most dedicated fans in the world. And he inspires a lot of really dedicated followings.
I find that hard to believe because anime exists.
That's a good point too. And Brian Fuller
and Sonic.
So the reason I said I have
that's the same thing.
The reason I phrased it the way I did, it leaves another TV shows. Of course, Brian Fuller was a huge part of Star Trek Discovery when it was first starting, and then he left.
Did he left or was he kicked off?
No, he left.
Okay,
he left because I believe he didn't like the direction the show was going.
Oh.
I don't. Obviously, he had something in particular in mind. I think Star Trek Discovery is really good. I'm curious, just in general, to see what he was going for. He did. If nothing else, he did get his pick for the lead actress, who was his choice.
I do like the idea of him leaving an office, and he's like, "Fine then, if you won't finance my vision of Star Trek, then I'll just leave." And he leaves, and they're like, "No, wait, come back!" And you just see a piece of paper hit the ground, and it's just a crayon drawing of a bunch of people on like a rocket-powered tiger going like, "Yeah!"
And I will say this: his pick of Sonequa Martin Green for the lead actress in Star Trek Discovery has proven really effective. So
yeah, she's quite good.
He has a lasting impact on the show in that way.
Did he write Hannibal?
Yes, he did. Yes, that's another good point as well. A show that has a small but dedicated fan following, and a garbage second season. I'm not sure.
You didn't like Hannibal season 2?
Nope, I thought it was trash.
What did you think about Hannibal season 3?
Working on it.
Is it better than Gallivant?
It improved. Is it better than Gallivant? So no. For real talk though, it's not trash, but like.
Okay, your hopes so bad.
Hannibal. So for those of you who don't know, Hannibal is. We all know what it is, right?
It's about that guy with the elephants, right?
It's about the guy with the elephants,
yeah.
And so it's a scary concept, right? Like it's got scary delivery. Season 2 really embraces like this like surrealist storytelling, which can be really cool in some things, but is totally unnecessary for something that's already like intimidating and weird. So
it goes for a David Lynch thing and it doesn't pull it off.
It doesn't pull it off exactly, but a good show nonetheless. But just
just like David Lynch.
So So he has not. So he was on another TV show, and he's left that as well.
What show was it?
I forget the name of it. I should have. I should have written it down.
You see him walking out of Paw Patrol, being like, "Well, if you don't like this decision, the direction I'm taking Paw Patrol in, then I'll just leave." And you just see a piece of paper hit the ground, and it's got a bunch of the Paw Patrol characters on a rocket powered tiger going, "Yeah!"
Did he write Paw Patrol?
That'd be awesome. Can you imagine if he wrote Paw Patrol?
Yeah, that'd be so weird.
Sorry, what? Hot Patrol?
Paw Patrol.
Okay, so it
kid
show
was an
about dogs.
Apple show because those exist. It was called Amazing Stories, and it was an anthology. We were just talking about anthologies.
Amazing Stories, is that based off the magazine? The old pulp magazine?
We'll find out when the Hollywood Reporter loads the webpage.
Okay.
Not related to Amazing Fantasy.
There was a... I don't remember Amazing Fantasy exactly, but I know that back in the day there was a bunch of like these kind of like weird science or like eerie stories. Like
Well, that was like Marvel before it was Marvel, right?
Yeah.
Apparently
Yeah.
it was a Black Mirror type
Oh yeah.
show.
I don't know why I forgot that.
Oh, also, this is interesting. So the other guy who was working on it, on the show with Brian Fuller, he left now too. He's since left.
Sweet.
So, I don't know. I would say this doesn't bode well, but I said the same thing before Star Trek Discovery. So, there you go. So we'll see how this goes. Apparently they're searching for a new showrunner.
Isn't Black Mirror that the TV show where in the first episode they blackmailed the
Spoilers
British
ahead.
Prime whatever.
Yay.
Watch it, Thomas. They blackmailed the British Prime Minister into fucking a pig.
Yeah, that was one of the
Yes.
better episodes.
Isn't Bryce Dallas Howard in that?
She
And
is
it's-
in the worst episode of... Oh my god. Don't even get me started on Season 3, Episode 2, Nosedive.
Well, I was
Episode
excited.
1.
Is that the only one she's in?
Yeah, and it's terrible.
Oh. Well,
It's
I thought
garbage.
She
It's the worst
she
episode of the whole
was
series.
she was in the thumbnail for the series at one point on Netflix, so I assumed she was a
Well,
regular.
no one's in... Like, basically, almost no one is
Yeah,
in
I know
multiple.
it's kind of like one shots, but I assumed she was a regular.
But the thing is, so, like, I'll address this now. So Black Mirror is a show largely about the perils of technology and our reliance and use of it. And it's...
Except for that one episode that was very fantasy based, where they're all singing and dancing. Oh no, wait, sorry, that's Galvan.
and so...
Dang it.
The thing about the show, there are a lot of shows that have deeper messages that can be enjoyed whether or not you understand or look into those deeper messages. And Black Mirror usually isn't one of them. Usually it's a show that's very tied up in its message, and your appreciation of it is directly related to how much you appreciate the message. And sometimes it's really insightful, and sometimes it's super not insightful, and kind of low-hanging fruit. That's my opinion of the show. But there's some great episodes. Andrew's on Season 3 right now, so he's already experienced a few really good episodes.
Yeah.
Like, there's some really good episodes of that show, I gotta say. I was really impressed.
I liked. I just finished the Christmas special with
White Christmas with John Hamm? Yeah. The acting
was
in
good.
that is probably some of the best acting of any episodes in the series, I would say.
Yeah, by far.
He's
Dwight
John Hamm
Christmas?
is really good, right? Like,
Does he
Yeah,
play Dwight
I
Powell
hope
in that
he does
episode?
get the Batman role because I think he'd be fine. He'd be good.
Yeah,
Oh
he got
yeah, but he's
rebooted.
not getting it right.
but he
'Cause I think-
yeah, exactly. I was just about
He's not getting it because Jim Carrey or someone's getting it, right?
What?
No, it's not.
Or Louis C.K.
No,
What?
Jake Gyllenhaal.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
But there's a big rift between Jim Carrey and Jake Gyllenhaal.
I know. I'm just pick someone who's not suitable for it at all. Chris Tucker. Yeah, he'd be a hilarious Batman.
I think it's time for a black Batman.
But then you get a bunch of black
there
man
kind of
jokes.
is one kind of. His name is Batwing, and in the comics, he's Lucius Fox's son.
There's nothing quite like comments that you have to bookend with two kindas. That's how you know it's a stretch.
Oh Jesus
Kinda
Christ,
Batman,
George! It's a
kinda.
good thing you never had that on this show. Well, this is this thing in obscure thing in Elder Scrolls, or
No,
well,
but
it's
my
actually
point isn't
well,
about
it's
your
actually it's Hermaeus Mora.
My point isn't about your comment. My point is about how far you'd have to extend it to say there would be a black Batman.
Oh, yeah.
We're so far away from that.
I think Terry Crews
that
should
at
be
best there's a
Batman.
kind of black Batman, kind of.
I think that would be so dumb. Like, I'm totally cool with a black Batman, but if it's supposed to be the same character, like the same continuity, he's just all of a sudden black. And
Well, to
nobody
me, in the
calls attention to
continuity,
it.
if you're going to change actors, you can change actors to whoever you like. You're still messing up the continuity.
Yeah, and
You can
I know.
change it-
Yeah,
it's-
but there's degrees.
That's like just as stupid. It's like it's the same as if Jake Gyllenhaal gets it, it's just as dumb.
It's no different to me. Like if they change, from Batlet, fuck, I can't talk. Ben Affleck Batman to Jake Gyllenhaal, that would be to me equally as stupid as if they changed it to another person. But it wouldn't be as stupid as if they changed it to being a dude who was obviously Asian. Like if Jackie Chan suddenly was Batman, that would be
awesome.
an awesome movie.
Or go see DC movies now.
Anybody ever see the
Chan Man or something?
I love how you wouldn't see a DC movie that you think is bad, but you'll go see one that you know is going to be bad.
But Jackie Chan is in it.
Well,
I fucking hate Ben Affleck. I'm sorry. I fucking hate him.
But you have to admit, Jackie Chan as Batman is not an ideal pick, in my opinion.
No, but Jackie Chan is awesome, and therefore it doesn't matter if the movie's feesies, because Jackie Chan is in it. Ben Affleck was alright in Gone Girl, but I haven't really seen him in anything where he's not a brooding, sulking asshole. And it's just, I really don't like a lot of his performances.
But Batman is a brooding, sulking asshole.
I know. So
and he plays Blaze in Paw Patrol.
Yeah, Ben Affleck Paw Patrol with Jackie Chan or something. I don't know.
So before we go on,
Shaquille O'Neal to be Batman.
Before we go on to the next show, just because we're kind of talking about it.
Yeah.
I tried to sit down this week and watch because it's on. Is it on Netflix?
What is it?
Transformers 5. Is that on Netflix?
Maybe.
Probably.
I think it's on Netflix. I forget how I was, or maybe my.
Might be the only person to search for it, and therefore only person
Anyway,
to know it's on Netflix.
I sat down to watch it, and I got about, and I'm speaking as probably, would you be safe to say that I'm the biggest Transformers fan in this group?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, I love Transformers. I got maybe 15 minutes into it before I went with my laptop, and I was like, no.
Well, to be fair, that's probably at least partly because you love Transformers and
Yes.
don't want to see it ruined.
But also, it's just garbage. So I went on, and I'm like, well, I can't physically put myself through this. I don't hate myself quite that much. So I went on to watch Cinema Sin's review of the movie, and I know.
I'm with you, Rory.
No, I didn't used to hate them, and then I watched more than 3 videos, and I was like,
well, it's all the same stuff. It's all the same stuff, but he gives you the Cliff Notes version of the fucking movie. And then I read the Wikipedia entry, and it's the stupidest shit I've ever seen in my fucking life.
I bet it is.
Yeah, it's awful. It's awful. It's all fucking awful. Stop, Michael Bay. For fuck's sakes, stop. And stop dragging good actors into this fucking franchise.
That's the
fucking
best
Anthony
part.
Hopkins and Emily Blunt are in this fucking movie. It's bad enough Mark Wahlberg is in this. You know who should be in these movies and who isn't? Fucking The Rock. The Rock, this is the movies that he's made for.
This is actually a really good point that Adam's
And he's not
because,
in the movie.
Let's face it, Adam, you and I both saw The Rock's Hercules movie.
Yeah.
That wasn't a great movie, but he was so good in it.
Yeah.
When are we getting a Fast and Furious and Transformers crossover?
That would actually be good.
We're coming up on that. You know what? Since
Call
you
it
brought that up,
Fast-Formers or
it's not the
something.
next on the topic list, but that's okay. So David Litch who directed John Wick.
Yeah.
And is doing Deadpool 2.
Yeah.
Is doing the Fast and the Furious spin-off.
Fast-Formers.
Wait, a spin-off or a sequel?
A spin-off.
Furious in.
It's a
Criminals
spin-off.
in Disguise.
It's Jason Statham and The Rock.
Oh, that's
and
cool.
they're doing their own movie. That's not cool, but that's okay.
Sure it is,
That's
man.
cool. That's awesome.
Can you imagine the Porsche that Paul Walker dies in turns into a robot at the last second?
Here's the thing. It's not cool, but with him directing, it could be cool. By itself, it's not cool.
Yes, it is cool. Jason
it's
Statham and
not.
The Rock are awesome, and they're great for
Have you
action.
seen the Fast and the Furious movie?
Yes, Rory. I've seen the Fast and Furious movies. They're great for what they are.
No, they're not.
Yes,
No, they're not.
Yeah.
I completely disagree. I think they're terrible at what
This
they
comes
are.
from a guy who sat down in the first 15 minutes of fucking, what was it, Melancholia? What the fuck?
Melancholia.
Thank you. My brain isn't working tonight. Melancholia, and I was like, you know what? 10 minutes of fucking slow-mo, that's brilliant directing from a guy who lives in an abandoned Air Force hangar.
It is. And for the record,
But one movie has an explosion, and
I love the first. By the first 3, I mean 1 and 3. The Fast and the Furious movies, those are brilliant.
I'm not
but
saying...
I think they've become garbage.
Listen, I'm not saying they're, amazing filmmaking, but I went in expecting explosions, and I came out with, having seen explosions.
But that's not what they used to be about. They used to actually be about cars and racing. And
Yeah,
now
I mean,
about The Rock.
I mean, fair enough, and maybe that's why the spin-off is good, because maybe now the original Fast and Furious can go back to being about racing and being
Hopefully.
about criminals, and they can take The Rock and Jason Statham and they can go blow shit up in Russia.
But you don't need to do that, right? It's not like now we could like. It's not like.
Well, what else are Jason Statham and The Rock going to do in a movie together?
I don't know. Act.
Have you seen Jason Statham and The Rock in movies before? That's not something they can do.
Jason Statham can act.
Yeah, so
talking
can The Rock,
about?
actually. The Rock is pretty good.
They do that cool choke slam through a table and the camera turns sideways when
Yeah.
they do it.
But
That's
yeah,
acting.
I
let's
only
face it,
remember. I only remember the movie where they kill about 2,000 innocent people.
that was the
And
fifth
then you're
one,
supposed to cheer for them.
where they bring
I was
the
like,
vault. They drive it around the streets of Rio, killing people.
Yeah, but they're Brazilian.
Yeah,
and it's
at the
Rio.
end of that, I was like, okay, I'm done.
And then the law enforcement official lets them get away, and we all clap.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
it's the
You clap in the
favela
movie theater?
in Brazil, man.
I'm saying we're supposed to clap.
They were cleaning out Rio for the Olympics last time.
So,
Christ.
but I think we
Cleaning
can all
the filth
agree,
off the street.
regardless of whether we agree with that the Fast and the Furious spinoff is cool or not, we can all agree that the best person to direct it is the guy who did John Wick, because that's awesome.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
I mean, obviously I don't want the same tone of movie as John Wick, because I don't think The Rock can pull off that kind of performance, but, that's a good combination of talent there.
Yeah, I
You're
agree.
going into that film knowing exactly what you're getting. If you're going in expecting brilliant, thought-provoking storytelling, then
You're not gonna get it,
I'm
yeah.
sorry,
They
you
could
didn't
call
read
him.
the
They
tin.
could call him John Brick.
my hope is that they strip it down and he does a really just raw storyline, and that they don't involve any of the bizarre conspiratorial storylines that are in the Fast and the Furious.
No.
Now,
Kind of getting back to what I was saying, wouldn't The Rock and Jason Statham be better actors for the Transformers franchise than Anthony
Definitely.
Hopkins and Emily fucking Blunt?
definitely.
Because at least that's what they do. They'd
Yeah,
be like
I
saying,
agree.
all right, we're going to be filming Rambo 4.
Yeah. They'd
Who are
bring
we
a-
going to have starring that? I don't know. Antonio Banderas. Why?
Yeah, they bring a bit of levity to the movies.
Yeah, exactly.
Much
The appropriate levity.
Or at least,
I think.
I don't know. At least Tom Hardy's in action films. If you're going to bring in like an award-winning actor.
I was kind of close to what I was gonna say. Like, Tom Cruise has the perfect tone in action movies of like not taking it too seriously, but taking it seriously enough that you feel compelled to look at the screen.
Yeah. Speaking of Tom Hardy, the trailer for the teaser for Venom came out this week.
I didn't see that.
Yeah.
Somehow
I did.
Missed that. What is? I know it's a teaser, but is there anything like? Did it look good? Did it look bad?
We don't really get to see a lot.
Cool.
I didn't like what I saw.
Right. And so begins the trend of this podcast. I didn't think it was bad. I want to see more. I don't like all you just see is different shots of Tom Hardy going nuts.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And you don't see the suit at all. You see a very brief glimpse of the symbiote. Takes place in San Francisco, which I believe is where the Lethal Protector comic book series took place, when Venom left New York and stopped fighting Spider-Man and tried to become like an anti-hero back in the 90s, because that's 90s.
Yeah. Venom's cool, but I don't think Venom works without Spider-Man, and this movie
Well,
is
that's why
in a
Lethal Protector
completely
didn't work.
Separate
Venom can work if it's not about Venom and it's about Eddie Brock going mad because of the symbiote. That works as a story. I'm not sure if you can do an entire movie about Spider-Man.
I mean Venom as a concept doesn't work without Spider-Man existing at some point in the universe.
But I'm under the impression, and correct me if I'm wrong, that this is taking place in the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Yes.
No,
it is.
It's not.
It isn't?
Okay, one of you is
I
correct.
don't
not what
think
I
it
heard.
is.
All right, I'm gonna look it up.
I will say I didn't see it on the list.
As far as I know, Sony asked, can this be part of the MCU? And I think the response was like, yeah, it can be if it's not garbage.
Well, that's not exactly encouraging.
That was more or less what I got. That was more or less what was implied to me.
Oh,
It's
speaking
like
of
pseudo in the MCU.
Speaking of MCU, they released a picture the other day of the entire, like, every major actor and director of the MCU films for the
Yes.
last 10 years, because this was the 10th anniversary on, I don't know, like earlier this week, and it's a really cool shot. Like, you get to see just all the major names that are in this franchise.
Yeah, it was a cool picture.
Aaron,
Coulson wasn't in it, though.
What?
Yeah.
Coulson wasn't there.
No, he wasn't there.
Nope, no Venom in the MCU.
It isn't?
Nope.
All right, well, all right.
Well, Aaron's not going to go see it now.
No, probably not, actually.
The,
God.
What were we talking about?
What we're going to talk about now is...
So are Marvel
kinda...
going to do their own take on Venom then at this point?
Oh, who
Yeah,
knows?
No, because Sony owns Venom.
Yeah.
Disney just bought Spider-Man. They didn't buy everything else that comes with him.
Seems so dumb.
Yeah.
Yep.
Really dumb. Kind of getting back on track to where we were talking about, Netflix shows and that kind of thing.
Oh, yeah.
There was a new, because we were talking about Cloverfield and TV shows. There's a new TV show that came out this week on Netflix called Altered Carbon. And
yes, Andrew's seen all of it, and Aaron has seen some episodes.
I've seen 4 episodes.
So what's it about? I haven't seen it yet.
Aaron, you explain it.
Okay, thanks, because I haven't talked very much. Well, the show's basic premise is it's like when you die, you don't really die because your personality and your memories and all that, basically who you are as a person, is kind of put on this little disc thing that they call a stack.
Is it kind of like Dollhouse?
The top of your spine. It's kind of got Dollhouse vibes about it.
Okay. That's my favorite part about Dollhouse.
So it's like you're imprinted on this little disc thing, and assuming that isn't damaged, you can be put into another body. So, you can fight to the death or whatever, and it doesn't really matter. You can just get put in another body, and there's like, it's almost like they have a monopoly on buying and selling people to upgrade them, and almost like there's some scenes in the show very early on where it's like people who are in accidents or something or who got injured, and then it's almost like insurance claims on a car or something where it's like, I need a new body, but this is all I can afford. So I like end up getting a shitty body, and then you gotta like deal with that. And it's kind of deals with like a lot of the politics involved with like human rights and.
So are these bodies like cloned, or are they just like
some of them are
people
cloned?
off the street? I
guess it's like, I don't know, people. I don't know where they get the non-cloned people, but maybe they're just like rejects or people who volunteered for it, or maybe they're like just kidnapped and like I don't know. It seems like everybody at this point in the timeline of the show has a stack. It's like it's not a thing to not have one. I guess there's a couple of people who don't, but I don't. It hasn't really been explained in depth who and who doesn't. I think they're called meths, who are people who like believe in living as long as possible. So like they keep swapping out their bodies every time.
Well, they're the high class citizens.
Yeah, and so like to get a really nice body, it's super expensive for some reason, and they clone like super nice bodies and all that stuff for people who have a lot of money to buy and sell that stuff.
Well, they clone the clones you usually see are their bodies.
It seems like that they cloned their original body, I guess, and then just keep upgrading it to an alternate version of the same body.
Because it's explained in the show that you can only be put into so many sleeves before your mind starts to.
Yeah, that's how they refer to bodies as sleeves.
Yeah.
So
if you always get put into your like a clone of the same body, then you can live forever.
Okay,
yeah, in
but
theory,
if you just get put into random bodies and slowly your mind just can't take that and it starts to break down, or that's interesting. So like, is the show just exploring that concept, or is there more of like a?
There's more of a central narrative.
The show itself is a detective story. Sorry, Aaron, you go ahead.
No, yeah, it's got Blade Runner elements to it. A very futuristic story. They do a decent job at exploring that world, and then the main story thus far has been about some dude like trying to solve a murder, basically, except. Obviously, murder isn't really the same in this world where you can't kill people the same way. I mean, you can still kill people, but you need to, like, damage their stack. So, I won't get too into it because it can get spoilery, but it's just the main character is trying to solve a murder, basically.
Okay.
Because the
sounds interesting.
Victim has no memory of it. Yeah, I was unsure about it for the first 3 episodes, but the 4th episode sold me on it.
How cool was the end of that episode?
Yeah, that was at that point I was like, okay, everything that you've done up to this point has now paid off, and I'm totally on board.
Yeah.
because I didn't really feel a strong connection to the main character. He's kind of just an asshole for the sake of being an asshole. It seems like, at least for the first bit of the show, where you're still trying to learn what his motivation is and learn who he is as a character, and then like the rest of the world. It's all really interesting and well done, but I just didn't feel connected to it until the most recent episode. So it's I would definitely say watch it, and if you don't get hooked on it right away, wait a couple episodes, because it'll all, I mean, as most shows do, the beginning of most series aren't usually all that strong in the grand scheme of the narrative they're trying to...
talking about? Arrival at Farpoint, or whatever it was called. Mission to Farpoint Station. That was
Andrew's Adam. Excuse me. Third guess is right. He's referring to the first episode of TNG, which is garbage.
Yeah, really terrible.
Yeah, and like Clone Wars as well. Like,
oh yeah.
Oh my god. Yeah.
Now this isn't a bad show. They're great episodes. They're well directed and they're well shot and they're very clever and it's well written. But it's just hard to find a connection to it. So once you get like halfway through the first season, it all starts to wrap itself up.
I want to point it out that Galvant was great right from the first episode.
Well, that's good because it didn't have many.
They didn't have a lot of
Firefly,
time.
Rory.
No, it didn't.
You should watch Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., Adam, because one of the characters in Gallivant is the main character in Season 4.
I do. I'm currently on the end of Season 2, waiting to pick up Season 3.
Well,
Speaking of which, kind of a dark horse pick for Aaron here. I actually think, Aaron, you would really like the new Star Trek series.
Maybe.
Because a lot happens. Like, it pushes, like, doing things each episode, and each episode does a lot of new things.
Yeah, see, and let me clarify myself. When we did that Destiny podcast, when I said there's nothing happens in the Jessica Jones and the Netflix Marvel movies, is it feels like they don't... Stuff happens, obviously. They're an hour long, and there's a lot of stuff, but it doesn't feel like they cover a whole lot of ground. Like, at the beginning of the season, Jessica Jones, for example, she's kind of this... hates everything, but also is kind of doing stuff out of the goodness of her heart kind of character living in the darkness in her shitty office. And at the end of the season, she's the exact same person. Like,
there's no arc.
There's no arc. She doesn't go anywhere as a character, and none of the other characters either I mean, one of her neighbors has a pretty substantial arc because he's like a drug head at the beginning of the season, and then he's like a super dapper guy at the end of it. Like, he has a bit of an arc, but he's completely irrelevant to the show.
You would like Gallivant because there's some pretty significant arcs that go on in that show.
But seriously, Discovery is push all the time, and there's like universe-changing things that happen each episode.
That's cool.
There's one thing I don't think you'll like about it, and that's the main crux of the ship. And I don't want to spoil what it is, but you know that's the one thing that ship does? Yeah, he won't like that.
I don't think he'll like that. But I would say I think he'll get over that pretty quickly once stuff starts.
Generally,
happening.
with like series and stuff, if I'm going to start it, I'm going to start from the beginning. And there's a lot of Star Trek, so I don't even think I'm going.
No, but I mean this Star Trek takes place before the other Star Treks, right?
Yeah, but there's always little nods and little Easter eggs and things to other shit that's related to the series.
Not as much as you might think, actually. In this one, I kind of thought the show was going to be Star Trek porn, but it really isn't.
They talk about Admiral Archer once or twice, and I think they mentioned Spock once.
There's like a really light reference. The
only character that comes up that you won't that you'll need the kind of that you'll like if you're a Star Trek fan you'll recognize is Sarek, Spock's father.
Who is really like you'll be familiar with him anyways from the movies, even though it's a different continuity.
There we go.
He's the same in all his interpretations. Like they've never changed that. He's Uncle Ben. You know what I mean?
How was Jonathan Frakes?
Oh, that episode is so good. Best directing of the whole series so far. I hope they give him another chance.
He also directed Thunderbirds Are Go, the 2004
That's true. That's
movie.
not a great movie.
No.
I think there a new TV series of that?
What?
Isn't there a new Thunderbirds TV series?
With the puppets? I hope so.
I thought maybe it's CG. I can't remember, but I saw an ad for it like a long time ago, or like a little teaser of like their house, and it seemed really cool. And then that was the last I heard of it. Like. I don't know if it was like, no, we're not doing this, pull the plug.
I like when in that episode of Top Gear where they're doing the emergency vehicles and like, we gotta get out there and do it. And then Jeremy and Richard take off and James mimes his way across.
He hobbles his way out of the
like he's on strings.
Yeah. Oh, what's happening here?
So yeah. Apparently,
Oh, sorry, I was right.
so the Evo lineup was announced.
Oh
and
yes.
So Marvel's not getting Marvel
So,
vs. Capcom.
Marvel vs.
Are you
so,
are you sure, Rory?
So what happened is
That's so.
Capcom
Not fair.
did some of you might remember from I think it was E3. Capcom showed off Marvel vs. Capcom, and I remember I can't remember which of you guys was watching it. Someone pointed out, someone was like this looks terrible, like really bad. I think it was Andrew.
Rory, it was all of us.
Sure, yeah, but I think I remember one person pointing out being like the graphics look really bad.
Is it a new game?
It's a new game. And
I wasn't there. I was in Montreal.
Yes, exactly.
So
I do think it was Andrew, and so it came out, and it looks terrible, and the fans are all really upset with it, and like the Marvel vs. Capcom games have been a mainstay of fighting games for a really long time, and so this year they announced the lineup for Evo, which is for all intents and purposes it's the World Championship for all fighting games, and they're not even including it in the lineup.
That's racist.
They're not going to have it there, and they are going to have what did make the lineup is Dragon Ball Fighters, which just came out, and the new Blaze Blue game, which isn't out yet and doesn't come out till May, and Evo's in fucking August. It's like
Also, there's that game that's coming out in July that they're going to include.
And there's 2 Smash games. There's 2 Smash games.
Melee and the new one?
Melee and the one for the Wii U or whatever.
An
the thing
iPhone.
is.
4.
Is that 4?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Are they calling it 4?
Well, Super Smash Bros. Wii U, but it's the 4th one.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are calling it 4. I feel like I've heard people say 4. So yeah, I just thought it was pretty funny that this, but, also really, I figured they just include it because it's a big name, right? But no.
It's sad. It's sad is what it is.
It's sad. Yeah, exactly, yeah. And they couldn't even get the X-Men in the damn game. It's like a
the
Marvel...
X-Men aren't in this?
The X-Men aren't in it!
So no Wolverine? Because he was a staple.
Well, I mean, Marvel owns
Exactly.
them again now, don't they?
What?
Marvel owns them again now, don't they?
I guess, but I guess there was a change of hands.
So it's gonna be like X-Men DLC, is what you're saying.
Yeah, there'll probably be but of course, if you're playing a Marvel fighting game, let's face it, no matter what Marvel hero you like, you want to play as the fucking X-Men.
Do you though?
Well, somebody.
Definitely,
Yes.
Wolverine, in terms of fighters.
Oh, man,
right?
Dazzler.
Obviously you want to play as,
Wolverine and
your
Jean
Iron
Grey,
Man or
sure.
your Captain America, but
You need Wolverine.
you need Wolverine for sure.
If you're going to pick X-Men, you need Wolverine and you need Gambit.
And
Yeah.
I think you definitely need Wolverine and Gambit. I'd say it
And,
would be a good idea to have Beast.
Beast and Colossus and
Jean
Nightcrawler.
Grey. You're not gonna have Jean Grey in there.
Well, it's not really fair with Jean Grey because you.
I don't think it's lore.
it's not. None of it's fair.
To be fair, we're talking about the same genre of games where
Iron
people
Man could have killed.
rock up
fucking
to a martial arts tournament with swords and guns and just get away with it.
And for that matter, in Injustice 2, where, you have these superhero
they take a
battles
pill.
that would play out
If
differently.
Tony's
take a
suit
pill.
wasn't half broken at
What
the
do you mean they
beginning
take a
of
pill?
Yeah,
or
so there's a pill
Civil War,
that Batman and
would've-
Joker take, and then they're as
would've
strong
killed
as Superman. They can take those punches.
Oh,
Superman can shatter a planet
sweet.
with by punching it hard enough, but they got a pill for that, so don't worry about it.
Yeah, okay, good
Just
stuff.
don't worry about it.
Yeah,
Stop worrying about it.
good. That's why you can play Joker, even though Joker clearly is not a fighter.
Don't worry. I mean, he took a pill. That's,
Yeah, Joker versus Iron Man.
I don't know why you're not getting about it. He took a pill. It's fine.
But,
Viagra or
can I...
It's terrible.
How is it that you make a game that has this fan base and it looks terrible and it sucks? How do you... Andrew, are you terrified about Soul Calibur?
I'm not terrified.
Terrified of Soul Calibur.
I just don't have any expectations at this point.
It's been so many years, and there's so many Soul Calibur fans, because Soul Calibur was really popular back when we were kids, right? Huge.
Yeah.
And even
It's the mainstay in the PlayStation.
it's a mainstay of the PlayStation. Forget about even people who play fighting games. Everyone played Soul Calibur.
Yeah.
And
So
so
it was really, out of all the fighting games, I found it was the easiest to pick up, as opposed to Tekken or Street Fighter, in which case, you're shit out of luck, Joe. Have you put 1,000 quarters into a cabinet for this? No, well then you get the fuck out of here, scrub. We don't like your kind here.
Has Soul Calibur been good though since 3?
So no, no, not really. But the hope is, I think that the hope is that they're gonna make like an old school Soul Calibur game, like in the spirit of like the second and third games. I certainly, the characters they've released so far are interesting.
What are they?
I don't know why fucking
There's a red hair
Lars
guy
from Tekken
with
is.
stick.
They have like Raiden is in it. Like it's not Raiden, right?
From
Metal Gear Solid.
Oh.
It's not Raiden, but it's Raiden.
I think meant from Mortal Kombat.
No, although that
No, that's
would make more
Raiden.
sense.
Yeah.
wouldn't it?
Wasn't Heihachi in number 3 or
Two.
number 2? Yeah,
Two, yeah,
because
that's
it was
right.
Heihachi for the PlayStation, Link for the GameCube, and for the Xbox they got Spawn. And I'm not saying anything against Spawn, but why didn't they include like the Master Chief?
I was gonna say Master Chief would have been a really good choice, and also
Well,
like,
they had a Spartan in Dead or Alive on Xbox.
oh yes, oh
Yeah,
wow.
Master Chief versus Darth Vader or whatever it was.
You want to talk about dead franchises? Dead or Alive is right there.
Whoa.
They,
I miss Dead or
ironic.
Alive.
what?
I miss Dead or Alive.
Oh, me too. But let's face it, like, Dead or Alive went, like, it's one of those things. It's like The Big Bang Theory, right? It's like The Big Bang Theory. They made some seasons of that weren't half bad, and then they realized people only like Sheldon, so they just made the show about Sheldon. That's what Dead or Alive did,
they
except
made a
instead
second
of
one about
Sheldon,
Sheldon.
they made Extreme Beach Volleyball
That
games.
fucking show ruined that theory.
That show.
What?
Wait, what? Sorry, go again.
But you said the Big Bang Theory, and I didn't think of the actual Big Bang Theory. I thought of fucking Super Bazinga Buddy.
Yeah, well, I mean that movie ruined the Jurassic era, because now anytime somebody says Jurassic, my mind immediately goes to the Michael Crichton, Steve
Yeah.
Spielberg film.
Yeah,
The
well,
president of the
thanks,
United States
Steve.
ruined the perfectly good verb of trump.
Yeah,
the,
yeah, that too.
Saying you trumped something used to be a great verb. I
And
love
now-
that
and
word.
now it just means to grab him by the pussy, right?
Yeah, it's really changed. So this is a really interesting one. So the Joker standalone. Apparently, Joaquin Phoenix is in talks to play the Joker.
Oh my Jesus
Okay.
Christ.
Did we really?
Fuck that whole fucking thing they're doing. Jesus Christ.
Oh,
But
shit.
it's
Yeah, I might have
standalone.
a
It's not
different topic
connected
with
to
this,
the-
yeah.
It doesn't. I
man,
don't give
boy,
a
good thing that
fuck.
was
Why am I
okay.
watching any of them if it doesn't matter?
I'm sorry. Sorry, Adam was talking about the topic list. What?
Well, I'm just talking with Andrew. It's just like he said it's standalone, but that's fine. It can be a standalone movie. You can have Thor in the Avengers and have a Thor movie, and they're both connected. So why isn't the Joker movie connected?
Aaron, I'm gonna tell you a secret about the
That's
DC
a fine question, actually.
universe, and it's gonna answer your question for you. The people over at the DC who are at the DC who
The
are
DC.
who are in
Yeah,
charge
Trump.
of their cinematic universe, they don't know what they're doing.
But this is no different than them having a Venom movie that's not in the MCU.
yeah, but that's because it's Sony and
I thought it was like pseudo in the MCU. It's like
yeah.
it can be in the MCU because it doesn't have an impact on anything else.
That's not really. I don't know. I don't think that personally. That doesn't
That works
satisfy
better
me.
than recasting an already established actor.
Oh, I agree. But what I'm saying is this sort of thing happens when you're doing broad scale universes, right?
Yeah, but
Recastings happen. I hate it just as much as you do. Trust me.
Yeah, but what I'm saying, like, if Tom Holland, who is Spider-Man, was recast and put in Venom, then yeah, it's not in the same universe because it's clearly different actors. But if it's just Tom Hardy and there's no mention of the MCU and there's no mention of any
Right.
of the Avengers characters, it's just as disconnected as the Netflix shows, which are also
So you're saying
in the MCU.
that? So I want to see if I can isolate this. So. You would be okay with it if there was no Joker in the DC universe, like if they didn't have a Joker character of their own, and if they just did their Joker standalone.
No, I'm saying that if you're going to have a Joker, have it be the same actor regardless of what you're doing.
Right, you're saying if it would be worse. You're saying if there was already a Venom in the MCU.
Yeah, and
they were
then
gonna do
now
a
it's Tom
separate-
Hardy. It's like, well, it's clearly this movie is not related because it's a different actor.
Okay, yeah, I understand
Right?
what you're saying. Well, this will be a different actor too. To be fair, I don't think it's in the
Yeah,
same.
but that's why I'm saying it's stupid to have it super disconnected like that. Like, it's just from the offset. There's clearly no intentions.
I
of
actually
connecting
agree, and I don't think that. Well, first of all, I wouldn't make a Joker standalone movie.
No, I wouldn't either. Really.
them. Yeah,
You need
yeah,
Joker works
You need
because of
something.
Batman.
yeah.
Bingo. Yeah,
You
now
need
I
that
would make a Harley
chemistry.
Quinn standalone.
you
'cause
could
she
make a
works
Harley Quinn standalone
as her own character, but Joker is so tied to Batman as a foil or as a villain, or whatever you want to, as a mirror, whatever you want to say. It would be like trying to make a... I can't.
I don't even think there's a better example.
No, I don't think there's a better example.
Peanut butter
I mean,
chocolate,
maybe like a
man.
Lex Luthor movie, but even that would be better.
Reese's Peanut Butter Cup movie confirmed.
I was gonna say the only other one I can think of is Venom.
Yeah, like
Where Venom is such the opposite and the arch enemy of Spider-Man that you can't really have a Venom movie if Spider-Man's not going to be in it because that's the crux of his character. He hates
Venom
Spider-Man.
only exists because of Spider-Man.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Without Spider-Man, there can't be a Venom.
And yeah, I know. I totally agree. I think it's weird that they're making a Joker standalone. Like, maybe it'll be cool, maybe it won't. I don't know.
It'd be like having a chimichanga movie outside of Deadpool.
I don't know. Like, there's enough DC things right now. There's a really well-established television universe.
Mm-hmm. Wait, is Supergirl part of that or not?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. There are people who will argue with me and say it's not, and they're all wrong.
Has Arrow and the Flash been in her show?
She's been in theirs.
Well, then it's the part of
so the argument is that Supergirl technically they exist in the same universe.
Okay.
But they are alternate realities.
Oh boy.
But that's the same universe still. People are like, that's not the same universe. I'm like, no, it totally is the same universe. All the alternate realities in Star Trek are still the same universe.
Multiverse.
They can interact. Yeah, but they can interact with each other. Like, that makes it in the same television universe. They're in the same lore.
Yep.
And anyone who thinks otherwise, just ugh. Anyways, arguing with other DC fans can be aggravating.
Because they're naive, and that's why they like it, and that's the cyclical nature of DC.
And then they have their film universe, their yet unnamed film universe. It's like, you've got enough stuff on your plate, guys. You don't need to make extra outside of universe things. Gotham I'll let go because that's totally its own show on Fox, and no one would think it was in the same universe as anything because that's impossible to think watching it.
Has anyone watched Gifted?
Gifted. Why do I know that? What is that?
That's the one about Legion, isn't it?
Well, it's like the not X-Men, X-Men.
No, okay, that's Legion you're thinking of.
Oh.
There's
different.
another show. Yes,
Jesus
okay,
Christ.
yeah. Okay, so I've sorted this out, yeah. No, I have not watched Gifted yet. I have been meaning to watch it.
What about Runaways? And what is that on? Seriously, what show, channel, or streaming service is
If
that?
there's anything we figured out, it's that everybody's universes need a good meeting with each other, and they need to sit down and sort some stuff out.
I want directors and like showrunners of different TV shows to start taking the piss, and so like in like Arrow, they'll be like, all right, we need to stop. I don't know. I can't name a single Arrow bad guy. In Flash will be like, oh, we need to stop Gorilla Grodd. Help us, and then you'll just see like fucking Commander Riker come out of nowhere and be like, we'll help you, and then suddenly like, oh, I guess Flash is in the Star Trek universe, and then like when they're Gotham is like, we need to stop the Joker, help us, Blaze from Paw Patrol. Now Gotham's in the Paw Patrol universe, and just start taking the piss at everything.
Honestly, the tightness of the MCU and the Arrowverse are really to be commended, and I don't know why that's as hard to replicate as it seems to be. It seems like people have an immense amount of difficulty unifying their worlds like those people do. But I guess,
Well, Gallivant was pretty unified.
Yeah, that's true, yeah. The
Gallivant Expanded Universe.
Yeah.
Well, Gallivant actually crossed over with Game of Thrones. You can see Gallivant himself in the background. He gives a little wave in the Battle of the Bastards, and he goes on his merry way.
Yeah, Game of Thrones crosses over with Gallivant. See, Gallivant walked up to it, and Game of Thrones ate it. And it got canceled.
One of the Gallivant characters became
Gallivant
a
was so
robot and
yummy
went
and
into
delicious.
one of the Gallivant actors became a robot, went into Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
But I guess
She time traveled.
I've sort of missed one of the things here, which is really, like, I guess the crux of the reason why I brought this up is because Joaquin Phoenix was in talks to play the Joker. So obviously, they're like, I'll watch the movie. It might be really a badass, but Joaquin Phoenix, I mean,
he's good.
He's a great actor. Like,
he is, yeah.
He wouldn't be my first jump to the Joker, but then again, Joaquin Phoenix is kind of a chameleon that way.
I mean, he's appeared in several terrible movies, but he's been good in those movies.
Yeah,
and do a better job than whatever his face was called did.
Jared Leto.
Yeah. But he's already the Joker, so keep him as the Joker. Pull the cord and do it again at this point, honestly.
Do you think their entire plan with that was to be like, okay, so Heath Ledger did such a great job with the Joker. How do we follow that up? Oh no, let's make the worst one, and then we set the bar back down again.
To be sure, I think Jared Leto is a suiting Joker to the tone of the new universe.
Yeah,
To the tone and aesthetic of the new universe.
Yeah, terrible and shitty. Yeah.
I don't agree.
Well, all right. I mean, you can be wrong in this case, Rory.
Well, I mean, I don't mind people disagreeing with me, but I think it would benefit people who disagree with me to see the movies before disagreeing.
I think Jared Leto could have been a very good Joker.
I actually liked this Jared Leto Joker, because I'm very sick of the and Heath Ledger is partially responsible for this. How the Joker in every Joker iteration since, Heath Ledger had to be, I'm a being of chaos, and every story I'm in has to be a battle for the soul of Gotham. No!
Yeah, no.
Because there were Joker stories before that where he was literally just fucking around.
Yeah, exactly.
And I like how the Jared Leto Joker in Suicide Squad was just a kind of a crazy gangster. Like, he was like a more crazy, crime boss. I like that. I just didn't like Jared Leto as the Joker. I didn't like the costume, and I thought his performance was not great, and I didn't like his portrayal of the romance with Harley Quinn, where he was in love with Harley Quinn.
Well, I don't know if that was his portrayal. I think that's how they wrote it.
Regardless, it was terribly done.
Yeah, I think the plotting of Suicide Squad was definitely needed to be that should have been rewritten.
What does Suicide Squad compare to in the MCU?
The Suicide
probably
from both of you.
Probably Thor 2.
Oh, you mean in terms of quality, or do you mean is there an equivalent?
Quality.
In terms of quality?
Somewhere between Captain America: Civil War and Thor 2, somewhere in there.
That's Adam's favorite and least favorite MCU.
Okay, what about Batman: Dawn of whatever it was?
Somewhere between Captain America: Civil War and Thor 2.
All right, Rory.
It's tough. They're so different. Like it's really tough for me to do.
Just
I want to answer your question.
Just quality wise.
In terms of how much I liked it relative to how much I liked something else there.
I guess, yeah.
Okay. Let me. I want to do a good job of answering your question.
So apparently Hodor is getting dedicated servers.
Because I haven't seen them yet, and I want to know if the trailers, my decision from the trailers justified not going to see them.
You did.
Iron Man 2 and Iron Man 2.
I highly doubt that you would have liked those movies.
Man, Thor 2 is way worse than Iron Man 2.
Thor 1 was worse than Thor 2, I thought.
I agree.
But yeah.
I don't know if anything. Very few things are worse than Iron Man 2.
I don't know, because the Transformers franchise exists.
I was almost watching Iron Man 2. I was almost
Iron Man 2. Wait, now you're saying that Iron Man 2 is the worst MCU movie? Is that what you're saying?
I think Thor 1 is worse. I'm just saying that that's only one thing that's worse. That's very few, right?
I don't think Iron Man 2 was that bad.
Ooh, I was offended watching it, and the worst part is I didn't know who I was offended on behalf of. Humanity.
Robert Downey. I will say that For Honor is getting dedicated servers to move on.
People are still playing that.
Yes.
Interesting.
Yeah. I thought it was a gimmick at first, and I guess I was wrong.
I thought they made it so they could...
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought they made it so they could put a poster for it in the Division.
Oh.
Cool.
I don't know. I haven't played it. I think it looks cool.
I think it looks cool. I think I could tell, it's probably not a game that the gameplay of would appeal to me very much, and I think it's obviously, it's... I mean, is there a story to speak of, or is...
There is a campaign. I don't think it's very realized.
Okay, yeah.
It's like Battlefront 2 then, I guess.
I think people who've played it have enjoyed it, though. It must... And look, if it's getting dedicated servers, that's a good thing, because it's better for the people playing it.
Yeah.
It's a shame that they've had to wait this long.
I guess the single player might be okay in it. I heard the same thing about the multiplayer from multiple people, in that it sucks. for lack of a better term, it basically it boils down to who presses the X button faster. Like it's really not. It's not a matter of like skill and actually like swinging and hitting and doing damage to another person. It's like run up to them and then hit X, and if you were the first controller registered, then you get to do the hit. And it's
sucks those people living out in the boonies.
On the bright side, that battle will be made more even by having dedicated servers.
Less latency.
When there's not, like 8 frames of ping or whatever
and that might have been
usually.
a sizable contributor to it as well. Like people with really fast internet always win because, they're turbo dick hair of ping size.
It's almost like stuff like that. We're really not there yet in a lot of ways with like game development netcode to support a lot of the games people want to make. Every fighting game has problems with this, right? Like it's like we're not there yet. Like every frame matters in these kinds of games, and we're just like we haven't put enough work into making it good, or the developers haven't put enough money into supporting the servers enough to make them good. Obviously, they're trying to do it, which is cool. Dedicated servers are always strictly better, despite what people say.
Yeah, it's good when they can do it, but obviously it can be costly.
Yeah, and you'll have to wait longer for a match, usually. On average, you'll have to wait a little longer, but once you get your match, it'll be better. I think it's a fair trade, to be honest.
Yeah.
Can we talk about some of the trailers that came out?
We can. A lot of trailers came out.
So we already kind of talked about the Venom teaser that we saw, but there was also a new trailer for Deadpool. There was a trailer for Jurassic World, and there was a trailer for Solo.
So let's start with Jurassic World.
All right. Okay, you go ahead.
Okay. I don't particularly like the Jurassic World thing.
Like spin-off or just that movie?
No, I just mean in general, I'm not particularly intrigued by the universe.
Yeah.
But I will say that they've made good movies. I didn't think this looked amazing. It certainly wasn't offensive, but like there was nothing about this trailer that made me any more excited than I was to watch Jurassic World, the new one.
This trailer was better than the first one.
Yes, it was.
Oh boy, was it ever.
The first trailer was awful.
Yeah.
And this trailer looks to be, because the first trailer I was like, they've just spoiled the entire movie, and the second trailer I was like, or have they?
No, they haven't, it appears, which is good.
Because it looks like there's some other stuff going on, and it looks like they might be doing some interesting things and expanding upon themes explored in the first movie. If you have I've heard all the problems that people have with the first movie, which is like, it's not Jurassic World because it's not Jurassic Park, and I appreciate that because Jurassic Park was very special. But I think if they just went for a straight re-release of remake of Jurassic Park and just did that again, I think ultimately that would be a worse film because it's not doing anything new. At least Jurassic World is taking the Jurassic Park formula and attempting to make kind of a an action monster movie thing out of it, as opposed to being an adventure story.
Sure,
and I can appreciate that. Does it work? I liked it, but I
It's
can
cool.
appreciate if you didn't.
I enjoyed the Jurassic World film. It was fun.
I will say, so apparently, I thought that in the first trailer it looked like the big bad dinosaur of this movie was going to be the Baryonyx, which is a very weird dinosaur to be the big villain because nobody knows what that is outside of like hardcore dinosaur fans. And now from what I've read, because I think it was spoiled on a like Toys R Us flyer.
Oh, this thing
for release of the things. It's the Indominus. It's not the Indominus Rex. It's an Indominus Rex like organism that they've created, but it's smaller and it's going to be. I think if based on theories that I have, what it is there. Because at the end of Jurassic World, the geneticist, Dr. Wu, left with a briefcase. And a lot of people think that had the genes of the Indominus in there. And he's been used by Engine to create, like, dinosaurs
Indominus
for war.
raptors.
Essentially, yes. And that has been confirmed by this. I think it was a Toys R Us or some sort of... I forgot how it was spoiled, but it is an Indominus raptor. And that's going to be the big bad guy. And I think the reason that it was created was for purposes of war. Because why make drones with missiles when you can make stupid, expensive dinosaurs that keep turning on its handlers? It's like the fucking Weyland-Yutani Corporation, where it's like, the last 20 times we tried to weaponize the xenomorphs, it's failed. But I got a good feeling about this one. Let's put these aliens in a small tube and turn the lights off.
Jurassic World 2. Just different enough to make new action figures.
Yeah, that's good, because the first trailer, like you said, was dog shit.
Yeah. Oh boy.
There was also the trailer for Deadpool. Did anybody see that one?
Nope.
Yeah.
Nope.
What'd you think of it, Andrew?
Actually, maybe. Was it the what's his name?
Yes.
Ryan Reynolds.
Who's the villain?
No,
Who's the villain?
I don't know who the villain is.
Ben Affleck.
It's not. It was the one with Cable in it.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. He's the villain of the movie.
I don't think he's the villain of the movie.
Oh.
Yeah, he is.
Well, first off, Cable's not a villain.
Okay, well, he's the antagonist of the
I'll give you that one, but I don't think he is. Anyway, it doesn't matter. What'd you think?
Is that the trailer you're talking
He
about?
doesn't know
Yes.
if he's seen it.
The one with the
What
one
do you think he thought?
the one with the green screen arm, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, that's the trailer.
yeah. It looks good.
I agree.
All right, back to the studio.
I like the bit where, because they make fun of Henry Cavill's mustache in Justice League.
Yeah, that was such a good thing.
Yeah, you really need to watch. I don't want to say anything really about this trailer because it is really funny. You should watch it. But it's really funny. There's a part where Deadpool stops the trailer and he recreates it with action figures, and it's just funny. Go out and watch. And it makes me even more excited for this film because I think they did a really good job with Cable. He looks great. Now that I'm thinking about it, I can see Cable as being an antagonist of this film.
I looked at the cast list. He's the only candidate I saw. Unless T.J. Miller is the antagonist of the film.
Oh, man.
I'm sorry, but T.J. Miller's responsible for one of the greatest moments in an interview ever when he was on like Conan or something, or it was Jimmy Kimmel, I think. And Jimmy Kimmel's like, why did you leave Silicon Valley? I love that show. And T.J. Miller goes, well, have you seen the Emoji Movie? And boy, like, talk about like something that didn't prove to be correct a few months later. Like, oh yeah, that panned out.
Oh my god.
What was he thinking when he signed up for that fucking movie? Being like,
He was thinking, wow, that's a big check.
you know what? Fair enough.
Oh,
That's what Anthony Hopkins was thinking when he signed up for fucking Transformers 5.
Patrick Stewart was in the Emoji Movie.
Yes, he was.
Yeah.
As poop.
hard crash
That's
there.
the movie that made Jordan Peele quit acting.
What?
Did you read that?
Emoji?
Yeah, he was offered the role of shit. Or poop.
Oh my god.
Was he?
Yeah,
Can we just...
and he came to the realization that he no longer wanted to act.
And not only did he come to that realization, but he also proceeded to release one of the best films of the year.
Yeah,
You think he did that as like a recompense? I mean, like, I gotta apologize to the art of filmmaking for the Emoji Movie. Here, let me make one of the best films of the year.
Talk about a comeback, though.
Yeah.
Like, from being offered the Emoji Movie
Yeah.
to being a great director. Like, well done.
So let's get into it. Solo. Has everyone seen the Solo trailer?
Oh, yeah.
oh boy.
All right, Andrew. Let's hear your thoughts after Aaron's, because Aaron doesn't get to talk a lot in this podcast.
It didn't look promising from what I saw, but a large chunk of it I discovered was the fucking awful score they decided to use for the trailer. Apart from that, I was kind of concerned by the dude's acting who plays Solo, apart from the fact that he looks nothing and sounds nothing like him. Seeing him fly the Millennium Falcon was like, who the fuck let this kid on the ship? But it seems to be well shot. Obviously, ILM did a great job with the effects, as usual. So, I mean, I'm still going to go see it. It doesn't look promising. So, that's my thoughts.
Yeah, I pretty much share Aaron's sentiments there.
I'm
The dude doesn't look like Solo. The best part of this movie is going to be oh God, what's his name?
Donald
Donald
Glover.
Woody Harrelson?
Donald
Donald
Glover.
Glover?
Donald Glover. Thank
Glover,
you.
thank you.
Okay, yeah.
He pulls off a Lando, I think.
The,
Yeah.
By the
I
look of it.
think mostly the same thing that Aaron thought, especially I agree with Aaron on the score. It wasn't
I
good
hope the
at
entire
all.
score is done by like Run the Jewels or something and just completely like pisses on John Williams.
So
That would be awesome.
what I hope, if there's anything I hope, like I like Rogue
I'll
One.
do it a van.
To the van. Fuck off.
I like Rogue One fine, but one of the things that I was hoping for before I knew what Rogue One was about
Is it the Baloo or whatever?
The Malu, yeah.
I was hoping that it was going to be a smaller scale, like lesser stakes Star Wars story. What I want to see is a Star Wars story with lower stakes.
Yeah, in fact, if I didn't see many Imperials in this at all, I'd be fine. Like, I don't want their plan to be to steal the Death Star plans. I know we already saw that in the film, but, like that kind of thing. Like, the Imperials have a super weapon, and we're accidentally smuggling the plans for it. Uh-oh.
Yeah, it's going to be the Kessel Run, right? I mean...
It's got to be the Kessel Run.
I think it should be something like that. Like, where, like one of my favorite MCU movies is Ant-Man. And the reason is, it's like, for once, the world isn't really ending.
Oh, we also got an Ant-Man trailer.
We should talk about Ant-Man,
we'll talk about
I haven't seen that trailer yet either. But, on the one hand, it's like, don't do the Kessel Run, please. It's like kind of a throwaway line. It doesn't matter.
They're going to put in every little thing that Han Solo or anybody in the movies that mentioned about Han Solo, or anything that ever happened to Han Solo. This movie will be nothing but references to those moments.
I agree with Aaron. I think it would be kind of like taking something that was a throwaway line and making it more than it should be. Especially since there's disagreement.
There's the other side of it. It's like, they've fucked up the confusion on whether or not Han is just an asshole saying 12 parsecs.
Yeah, which is what it should be
by including it in both 7 and 8.
Yes,
as
exactly.
Like, because even Finn in episode 8 says, "Man, this thing really clicks. We only got we're going 14 parsecs or whatever the hell he says." He's basically saying it as we're going as a speed, even though it's still distance.
They fucked it up. It should have just been him being an asshole.
But if you do a story about Han Solo that I assume at some point becomes epic because it's Star Wars, why doesn't he then mention that later on in the other movies? You know what I mean? Like.
Yeah.
So it's like, in a way, you're kind of damned if you do, damned if you don't.
That's a good point, yeah.
Which is why this movie shouldn't be about Han Solo at all.
Yeah.
You know what I want the Kessel Run to be? I want the Kessel Run to be, like, I want the movie to start out and Han Solo is a delivery boy for, like, a pizza company, and that's his run, is in, like, the neighborhood of Kessel.
And it turns into Futurama?
Yeah, essentially, yes, and that's what it is. So he's like, it did the Kessel Run in 12 parsecs.
Rory, can you code better AI for this game, please?
Run in 12 parsecs?
Yes, I can, actually. Oh, certainly better than that, yeah. That was
see, the company Han works for is called the Kessel Run. And the neighborhood he has to deliver it in is called 12 parsecs.
And they're integrating Maz Kanata into the story. Ugh. Like, they're taking
actually, I'm
everything. Well, I'm fine with Maz Kanata, even though she was the worst part of Episode 8.
No,
she was barely in Episode 8, Rory.
And yet somehow she fucked it up. Against all odds.
I'm absolutely with Rory on this, but that's not her in the trailer.
Who is it? Like, I'm not disagreeing with you.
It's not Maz. The little alien thing. That little alien thing has 4 arms in the
Oh, sorry, it only popped up for like a frame. I was like, I guess that's Maz.
I thought it was Maz as well, but I paused it and you can see the face of whatever the hell it is.
Oh, so it's just something else.
It's clearly not Maz. Yeah.
I absolutely wouldn't be surprised if we do get Maz in this movie, though, because we got to set up that relationship between her and Chewie.
Of course, everyone ships that.
And I guarantee you, at some point in this movie, Han Solo goes to Emilia Clarke's character, and he says, "I love you," and she says, "I know," and that's what sets it up for Episode 5.
I'll be extremely sad if that happens.
Just turning Han Solo into like a turbo cringy asshole who just like mimics shit he hears other cooler people do.
Yeah.
So here's my. I mean, I wasn't really looking forward to this movie anyway. Well, I was, and then I heard all the behind-the-scenes bullshit was going on. Like, maybe not so much anymore. And this trailer has done a little bit to pique my interest about it, because there looks like to be some interesting shots, look to be some interesting locales. Donald Glover looks to be doing an amazing job as Lando.
He's a good actor.
I can't remember if it was somebody in our chat or just I read it online somewhere, but it should have been a Lando story. Which would have been awesome. And maybe they will do one now, which would be great.
Childish Landino.
Don't shut your mouth.
That's funny.
But you know, the main guy, I'm hoping he can act. Probably not, because he doesn't look like he can do it in the trailer. And I'm hoping they don't do everything you guys are saying, but at the same time, I think that they will. Best case scenario for this movie, it is like a heist adventure movie where a bunch of criminals come together and kind of get in over their head, and they come out, and at the end they're like, Jesus Christ, we got to step away from this. And Han Solo's like, no, I think I can make a go at this. And then that's how he gets the Falcon, is he's the only one who sends away. And that won't be that. It needs to be like fun and fast and just.
Well, he wins the Falcon from Lando in a game or something, doesn't he?
Oh yeah.
Or he wins it. He wins it from him doing something.
Sabak.
I think.
I don't know if it's explicitly that, but he wins it from.
It is Sabak.
Is it?
Yes.
Is that mentioned in the movie?
That's in the Legends lore, though. It's probably different in this.
Well.
Yeah, new universe, right?
I mean, Sabak still exists.
Yeah, but they don't. He doesn't say that in the movie. He just says that since I won it from you or whatever, and that's all he says.
Well, remember when George Lucas added that in? Remember when I won it from you from a game of Sabak?
I think I will say this: there have been countless examples of super lackluster trailers that the movies turned out to be much better. The standout examples in my mind will always be Gravity and Star Trek Beyond.
Have you seen Gravity?
Well, yeah, of course, back in the day.
I don't know. I thought you and Adam decided to not go
I
see
skipped
it.
out on seeing it in theaters because
okay.
I was like, wow, that trailer was bad. But I mean,
I like the trailer.
That guy can really direct, right? At the end of the day, you gotta watch the movie, right? Like,
you don't have to.
what is that noise? What's going on?
Controllers spazzing out.
Oh, okay. And Star Trek Beyond, which although I have an immense number of problems with that movie, was way better than the trailer made it look.
Mm-hmm.
I
mean, Simon Pegg himself said, guys, don't. He came out on Twitter and says, yeah, don't judge it just based on the trailer. Go see the movie.
Yeah, exactly.
So hopefully this movie will be good. I don't want this film to fail, and I'm thinking it might be the case where I'm going in expecting it to fail.
Well, it's not going to fail, I promise.
Who cut the trailer together?
No. I don't want this film to fail story-wise. I'm going to fuck about the fucking tickets.
Oh, okay.
I really hope you can't tell the dude is nervous as fuck because he's standing opposite Emilia Clarke. That's all I really hope for at this point.
Wouldn't you be nervous as fuck?
Oh, absolutely, but I'm not in the Han Solo movie.
No, fair enough. Can you imagine Aaron as Han Solo?
Kinda.
All right, we need to do the Kessel Run.
I probably look more like
I'm not
Harrison
doing
Ford.
Probably
than
looks
that
more
guy
like
does.
Harrison Ford.
Or my family.
Girls don't fuck guys just because they're not nervous, though.
It's got
I don't
nothing to do with
understand.
that.
Wait, what are you
Don't be
talking about?
nervous.
What is this conversation about now? I thought we were talking about Star Wars over here. This is a nice
I'm just-
family-friendly podcast. What are we doing?
I'm just saying that, you know, the dude
fucking
who
control,
I don't
right?
know if he's been in anything else other than this movie, and he's standing across, you know, fucking Daenerys, man. I'd be like, holy fuck.
I'd be like, holy fuck, Terminator, the last
Yeah, I
one was
just
really
gonna say,
bad.
yeah, maybe he saw Terminator Genesis and he won't be nervous at all.
No, I'd be like,
Oh, she's shit like me!
I'd be like, I know what your bits look like before every take. Like, all right, lights, camera. I know what your bits look like.
You just hear
Action.
He's like, Han Solo is just like, okay, princess, we need to get out of here. Stop saying that every time we go to start. Everyone's seen what my bits look like. Fucking Game of Thrones is awesome. Shut up, asshole.
That wasn't her in the latest season. That was body double.
That's
That
true.
doesn't matter. You can see your bits.
In the first season.
In
Yeah,
most
the
of
first
the
season.
in the
Why
first
was
three
it a body
seasons.
double?
Because she signed a no nudity contract later on.
Well,
Yeah, she didn't really like, as I understand it, as I understand it, I believe that she is quoted as saying she didn't really like the show's, like, approach to nudity.
I mean, fair enough. I mean, it's very revealing to have your body portrayed like that, and, you know, I feel bad for you, but it's kind of already out there.
I think she means
Don't
in
feel
the
bad
context
for
of the
them.
show.
They sign up for it.
I think it's an artistic objection, more so than a, like, privacy objection.
Well, I would find the privacy objection.
Yeah, that's also, I guess, an omission that we left out for about Altered Carbon is there's a fuckload of nudity.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of nudity.
There's nudity everywhere. It's like it's good to have that show again because Game of Thrones has gone like, we're not doing nudity anymore, I guess.
There's
whatever
dicks
reason.
too, which is
There's straight up peens
it's-
also.
It's all inclusive, the nudity.
Yeah.
We should probably clue up because we're...
That's
Yeah,
true.
probably.
There's a couple things,
Jesus Christ,
quick fire
that's a Master Chief suit.
points here left. Lena Dunham who is probably most well known for
Is that
Girls.
Jeff Dunham's wife?
No.
Oh, I'm not interested.
She's best known for Girls. If you've seen the HBO show Girls, which is quite good.
Jeff Dunham would probably blow his brains out.
Who is she in that?
She's the main character in Girls.
There's a main character?
Do you watch the show?
It used to come on before Game of Thrones. And so I watched like the last 5 minutes of a couple episodes.
She's the main one in Girls. She's also responsible for the show.
Is she like the short blonde-haired one?
Yeah, she's the one who goes up to the guy who's
Okay.
look how old you've become.
I thought...
She's also responsible for the show. She show ran that show as well. Oh yeah, that's what she does, really. She is also an actress, but like I
Daft Punk.
Hearing the first time I heard Lena Dunham was in the
Jesus
context of her work behind the scenes, which she's very good at. And so she actually she's actually going to be doing a new show now on HBO. I didn't write down the name of it, of course. I don't even know if they have a new name, but I just thought it was interesting that she got another show, and it's good because Girls ran a number of seasons, and right away now she's got a new show to do.
I forgot what the name.
Is that Laura Bailey's character?
Yeah, it was Laura Bailey's character.
I'm being her then.
Vale.
Olympia was her name.
What?
She's Vale in it, doesn't she?
Yeah.
Oh, this chick's name is Olympia.
Olympia Vale, yeah.
Oh, Spartan. Okay, never mind.
What the fuck is going on?
One more quick fire point about television is that Once Upon a Time will be entering, or its 7th season will be its last, so it's confirmed ending, which means it got in sort of unofficial industry terms a full show, which is very good.
Just kind of rapid fire these. The Falcon Heavy launch was a complete success by all accounts. Which is really nice to see.
Well, not a complete success.
Why? What happened?
One of the rockets crashed, or not the rocket, but the
booster.
No, what's it called, Aaron? The centerpiece, the
module,
like a fuselage or something. What are you talking about?
No, you had the two side rockets that landed successfully, but the long middle one, that one crashed into the ocean because it ran out of fuel.
Oh, I didn't hear about that part.
Aside from that, it seemed to go very well. Nothing blew up. And destroyed a lot of.
Yeah, there's a car in space now.
Yeah,
that's weird.
So
that's weird.
There's a lot of cool pictures from that.
Don't panic. Written on the dash, and it has a towel and a copy of Hitchhiker's Guide, doesn't it?
Allegedly, there's a copy of Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy in the dash.
Or the trunk, or something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
I hope, out of all of the very shit that humanity has sent out into the stars, I hope that's the one that's picked up by an alien species. Like, the fuck is this?
That's the one thing that outlasts all of us.
Yeah. Jesus Christ with the car.
That'd be cool if that's the last thing. Like, the humans are gone and there's still a fucking red Tesla orbiting the sun.
I like how aliens are, how did it even get up in space? Doesn't have any propulsion.
Like 2,000 years from now, the sun just dies, and that car is just, going out, flying around.
So, Dishonored 2 is getting a graphic novel this month. Do you know who that's by?
I don't. I know it's not. I know it's got a number of literary spin-offs. Or not spin-offs. I didn't know it was getting a new graphic novel,
Is it
though.
Dark Horse?
I don't. No.
Okay.
I don't.
All right. Monster Hunter World is getting Horizon Zero Dawn DLC, or that's already out. It was a pre-order bonus, wasn't it?
Hey, Aaron.
Yeah.
Do you like Horizon Zero Dawn?
Yeah, I sure do.
Hey, Adam.
What?
Do you like Monster Hunter? Oh.
Adam actually doesn't like Monster Hunter.
I don't like Monster Hunter. I don't know why you thought that.
He's mentioned multiple times that he doesn't like it.
Not a big fan of that franchise.
Isn't Adam a gigantic weeb?
I thought, but...
No, the surprising thing is that Adam does like big monsters.
What's a weeb?
It's a weeaboo.
A weeaboo.
Oh. Don't ever call me that, you fucking asshole. No, shut your mouth. You can call me fat. You can call me dyslexic and dysgraphic. You can call me a nerd, but you never call me a weeaboo. If you call me that again, I'll fucking drive to Halifax and punch your fucking teeth in.
I will say, it is surprising because you like giant monsters.
Yes.
and fighting giant monsters.
I do. I don't like MMO combat systems, which this game is very much kind of like an MMO style. At least the old ones
The
were.
new one is not.
Oh, well, then maybe I'll look into it then. But I'm also not a big fan of... I mean, I do play it, but I'm not, grinding. I don't like the level of grinding in a lot of these monster games. We got to go out and kill 18 fucking Hadrosaur and then take their bills, and then I got a great club.
Monster Hunter is very grindy.
Monster Hunter doesn't appeal to me, but I've heard the new one is good.
I've heard the new one is the easiest to get into for new players.
It's total bullshit that there's microtransactions. Total complete bullshit in this one. Full price game. Bunch of microtransactions. No need for continuing support, really, of any significant kind. Just total nonsense.
I've watched a couple streamers that I'd regularly watch playing it, and I don't know. I can't get past the animation and the fact that the dude was swinging a sword like the size of a car, and then he put it on his back, and his cape was clipping through it. So it's like, I'm out. I don't know.
I know what you mean. If you can constantly see
like
it.
If you can have... I'm not even sure you can change your armor and shit in that game. Maybe you can. I don't know. But there's a dude with a cape, and he has a car clipping through his cape on his back. So it's like... Why is this still a thing? Like,
really though,
figure it out. And it looks bad. Like, I don't mind shit clipping every now and then with if you like your sword is on your thing and you're wearing an armor set that maybe the developers never thought about this armor clipping through it.
Sure,
but the entire cape is clipping through his back, and it's super obvious because it's fucking massive. So it just looks like dog shit.
As I understand it, customization is a big part of these things. They'll be
you
prepared
can be
to
a cat
dish out a
if you
bunch
want.
of money for your custom items.
Yeah, you can be a cat if you want.
Because that's the only thing. That's what it is, right? It's cosmetic.
Yeah, no clip DLC. You
microtransactions. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, pay to fix our mistakes.
Oh man, I can't wait until
deal.
we're paying for patches.
You know what my favorite part about Monster Hunter is? The fact that Andrew called me a weeb.
I was completely joking at him. In no way was that meant to be serious.
I know you're joking. I'm yanking your chain.
But I will say, the Monster Hunter fans are really
chain.
defending the level of microtransactions in the game.
If anything, I'm a Gant, which is a Gallivant fan. I wouldn't be a Gav.
It'd be a Gaunt.
You know what? That's a better name for a thing I've just made up.
Yeah.
Is there like a Horizon? I know there's Horizon Zero Dawn DLC that you can get like a unique costume or something. And Aloy's.
Well, you can craft it.
Oh yes.
What?
Is Ashley Birch in it?
Is Aloy not in the game?
Well, no, the DLC lets you craft Horizon Zero Dawn armor.
Oh, I thought Aloy was actually in the game.
I don't think so.
Please don't ruin that franchise, please.
Really though. But also, Aaron, like,
Yeah.
as someone who likes Horizon Zero Dawn,
Does Aaron like Horizon Zero Dawn?
like, I gotta say, to me, even if you liked Horizon Zero Dawn, is it at all appealing that in another game you could make Horizon Zero Dawn armor? Because that sounds like
It just
totally
ruins
null.
Horizon Zero Dawn by proxy because it's like these two unconnected. We were talking about this earlier in the podcast. Unconnected universe putting content from another universe in it to appeal to Horizon Zero Dawn fans.
Right? Yeah.
I mean, I'm as big a Horizon Zero Dawn fan as you can get, and I really would rather kill myself than play Monster Hunter. Is it an MMO? Like, why is it called World?
It's just a name.
I assumed it was an MMO.
It's not really an MMO. No.
Does it have multiplayer?
Yeah, but like not. It's a little hard to explain.
Sweet.
Like the thing, like I would be.
That never happens.
I
with
would
Japanese
be furious
games.
if I was playing.
Dark Souls.
Give me a Dark Souls, and it's like now you can craft armor to look like Maya from Borderlands 2.
Yeah.
I would be so pissed, and that's my favorite character from one of the coolest games ever made.
Yeah.
Well, to be fair, it would also ruin Dark Souls. Well, it wouldn't ruin it, but it would.
It would damage Dark
It
Souls.
absolutely.
Yeah.
It does the same thing to this. If I was a Monster Hunter fan, get your other fucking game out of my game. Like,
Yeah, exactly.
It's
Yeah.
stupid.
It doesn't fit with the world at all because, as far as I'm able to tell, Monster Hunter is very much like kind of low tech fantasy world where like you do have to beat up the shit out of giant monsters in order to get weapons and armor, and like people have boats, but it's not like a
Assuming
major
that's
thing.
what it is. But if it says like Horizon Zero Dawn TM bow or something, and it's like super obvious, go to this separate area and talk to Horizon Zero Dawn TM.
No, but the armor itself is very high tech and like machine looking, and I'm like, this doesn't gel with the aesthetic of the rest of the game at all.
Well, what armor set is it?
It's just like it look. I think it makes you look like a Watcher.
So it's not even armor that was in the game.
No, it's like it's. I believe it makes you look like a Watcher.
That's
from,
that's
dumb.
dumb.
I think maybe a Watcher or one of the other animals.
So something that's not in the universe of Monster Hunter and not related to in any way and is super obvious.
Right.
They make you look like that's so.
It's so annoying, and like I don't even like it. Like I can understand fighting games because like all fighting games are the same insofar as like you can adapt fighting games, but it still annoys me that Akuma from Street Fighter is in Tekken, not only because he's a shitty Tekken character who shoots fireballs, which you're not supposed to be able to do in Tekken. There's not supposed to be projectiles. But like it's like, why are you here? We have plenty of characters. Go away.
Because that's what breaks the rules of the Iron Fist tournament. Yoshimitsu and Alyssa, let them in. Chainsaws and swords, that's totally allowed. But the moment you start shooting hucking fireballs,
I was saying
at
it
people,
changes the gameplay too much.
Okay,
not
fair
it breaks the lore.
All right,
it's
fair
just
enough.
like having projectiles
I
just have
see.
to sidestep is really annoying.
I see what you're saying. I get what you're throwing down. Can you get the warthog in this, Aaron?
No.
All right, well, let's turn it off then. I suppose the last thing we should talk about before we end, because we really do need to end, the Norovirus.
Oh my god!
What?
The fucking armor is so dumb. It doesn't. It gives you a little Watcher tail and a massive fucking helmet. I'll throw up a picture of a Watcher head. It looks so fucking stupid.
There's a Norovirus outbreak in Korea in the Olympic Village, and guess what's happening today and the weekend? It's the
aquatic
Olympics.
world. Oh, the Olympics.
What were you gonna say?
I said the aquatic worlds. What? You know, like the swimming championships.
Oh, yes. Sorry. Yeah, no, the Olympics are happening. The Winter Olympics. Go Canada.
We're doing all right so far.
They're doing all right so far. One of the two Newfoundlanders is competing as of this recording tomorrow night in figure skating, team figure skating.
All
Hopefully she
right,
does well.
I'll be ready to never be able to stop hearing about that on Facebook for the
Don't
next
suck
10
shit, or
weeks.
you better not suck shit, or don't come back.
In my opinion, not to get like too out of bases, but I think figure skating is one of the most challenging sports to participate in because it is such.
Well, you must not be familiar with bribery. A big thing? The bribery.
I mean, yeah, no, but to be able to physically, I don't care about like competing and who wins or whatever, but just being able to do the sport itself, like basketball. Not nothing against like all-star basketball players. Obviously, they're much better than I am, but like shooting hoops or into a basket or playing soccer, those are relatively easy skills. Like even somebody who's not really good at sports can shoot a basket.
It's easier to get into, right? There's a lower barrier for entry.
But like some of the stuff that they're able to pull off in figure skating is pretty much impossible for me.
Yeah, I can't even stop.
Yeah, exactly.
They should have a sport where you have to shoot ropes into a basket.
There's a much higher barrier for entry. Though I would say like a high level basketball player.
They could call it
Welcome back to
basketball.
the World Masturbatory Championships. Oh, and Andrew's won every competition.
That'd be great. It's like Icky
He's not even
Cookie.
competing.
It's like Icky Cookie. You just got to prevent other people from finishing into your basket. So it's like basketball, but they call it fapsketball.
Anyway, so apparently there's a really nasty outbreak of the flu. None of the athletes have caught it yet, as far as I'm aware. But a lot of the workers have caught it. Who were
There's
helping.
1,200 of them, I think, that were told to fuck off.
Yeah, well, they're quarantined now. And so they brought in the army to help out with the situation, except the army doesn't know what to do because they were like, get in there and do their jobs. Like, but we don't know what their job is.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're like, we're from North Korea. We're not even supposed to be here.
Don't care, do it. And so they start playing their accordions everywhere because apparently North Korea is really into accordion playing.
I've heard that.
Yeah, it's very
It's an
weird.
interesting choice.
Yeah.
Did you finish watching the opening ceremonies, Adam?
No, I got through. I was getting through the athletes. I had to leave. I just wanted to see Team Canada come through.
When I was
you almost got
17, I did first aid for one of those Olympic torch events.
Yeah, it's like the whatever this warthog.
Where they like light the torch and they walk around with it.
A Jeep. Oh, Tailcat.
And it was my first time doing first aid for an event.
Yeah.
And not a single person got injured, and I was super disappointed. There was fire.
Oh man, a Willis Jeep.
Like, it was. Yeah. Oh wow, hey.
Only the worst vehicle ever. All right.
So yeah, that does it for this week's podcast.
Episode 148.
I won't be here next week, but other people will be, and they'll tell you about news.
You're not gonna be here next week? Oh, that sucks.
You're fucking off next week.
Sorry, Thomas.
Yeah, sorry, Thomas.
We tried.
Maybe Thomas will be on. Who knows?
If you want. Yeah. So thanks everyone for listening. Thank you, Andrew, for joining.
Hey, no problem. Always a pleasure.
How drunk are you?
Not enough.
All right, everyone. Goodbye.
All right, we'll see you next time.
Bye-bye.